My name is Susan Fergason. I'm the director of the Center for Catholic Education in the School of Education. I think you have to keep in mind what your parents are going through. So if you are the first in the family, they might be very worried about you. You're the first one they've sent off to, be very independent. And so if they call you often, again, it's just because they love you and they trust you, because I think sometimes many calls from home might seem like your parents don't trust you, and that's not at all true. And this is the first time they've ever let somebody go, and it's very hard for them often to let go. So they might be calling you just because they're just not sure that you know the ropes, and they just want to offer you some guidance. I think sometimes when the youngest child goes off to college, it's a similar kind of thing, and they're very lonely. They miss you, and they just really are experiencing what we call the empty nest, and want you somehow to stay a part of their lives. So without being over the top and calling every hour on the hour to maintain that communication with your parents as they transition from letting you go and seeing you fly. I think for a parent, that's one of the hardest things to do, is to know that you have raised your children to be independent. So there's that tug for them, that balance of letting you go, but still wanting to make sure that you know that you are very much loved and cared for. I think too, making sure that you're not too reliant on your folks, calling them and saying, what should I wear to class, or should I buy a used book or a new book? This is the time for you to stretch and for you to make decisions on your own. If it's something very important, like whether or not to change your major and whether or not you are called to a particular vocation, that's probably something you do want to discuss with your parents, but to not be too dependent upon them is very important. Once in a while too, I think parents love you very much and they want you to have a good experience, but once in a while they can get a little too involved. So to make it clear to your mom and dad that if you're having an issue with a faculty member or with an RA or with a roommate, try to work it out by yourself first. Try to see what strengths you bring to your own problem solving and your own decision making. But again, your parents are always there to consult and always somebody for you to refer to. In terms of old friends, I think too that you want to always achieve a balance. You're going to make a lot of new friends here, but also you want to maintain those friendships that you've had previously. I think what some students find, though, are the relationships that they have in college are much deeper, and you might become better friends with somebody in a year than maybe someone you've known almost all your life, or maybe from kindergarten through 12th grade. And I think that's time. Here at the university, when you make new friends, sometimes you're kind of together 24/7. And I think you get to know somebody in a much deeper way. Homesickness is probably one of the most common issues that first-year students have. I remember one student told me she lived just down the street, the next suburb over from the university, but she missed her dog. So sometimes we miss home and we miss our parents. I think the university affords many professors, many staff members, people in our residence halls who really care about your development and who really do want to make your time here comfortable. If sometimes you disagree with your parents about a particular decision, maybe a change of major, sometimes a faculty member can offer some perspective or some words to share with your folks about why you are being called to this vocation. Most of the time parents are very supportive, but sometimes you need to listen to their wisdom, but also the wisdom of other adults here on campus that might help you when you're trying to make a decision.